We are back with another Dark MAGA podcast where things get spicy, things get crazy, baby, and where things go unhinged. And that has left all of you in the comments to act spicy, crazy, and wild because we got a lot of news to cover here regarding Israel and Iran. We got a lot of breaking news and just, quite frankly, just a lot of things to cover in general. We got a lot of people watching over at TikTok, so appreciate you guys tuning in. We got a lot of people at Rumble, YouTube, X. I mean, heck, we are streaming everywhere other than Kick, it seems like. But it's good to see all you patriots in the chat. Couldn't be happier to have you join me this fine evening. So, well, we're going to break into things and get right into it here. Easy. He's an easy target, Trump says. This went viral today. Everybody and their mom was talking about this tweet that Donald Trump sent out. President Donald Trump said on Tuesday that he knew exactly where the Iranian supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, was hiding, but that he had no plans to act on that information as of yet. The question is what needs to take place for Donald Trump to act out this assassination, this attempt? I mean, what needs to take place? Trump made the announcement in a post on his Truth Social that went absolutely viral, hinting that while the Ayatollah was, quote, safe for now, continued attacks by the Iranian regime against Israeli civilian populations would drive him past the limits of his patience. And the question is, how much patience does Donald Trump have? I guess that's the question everybody's wondering. And look, I'm not asking for Iran to find out. I'm not asking for them to, but it seems like they're curious themselves. Quote, we know exactly where the so-called supreme leader is hiding. The president posted, he's an easy target, but is safe there. We are not going to take him out. Kill. I love how he has to, I love how he has to emphasize that. Like we didn't know what he was talking about. See, that's for the progressive left. That's for the lefties out there that they can't read between the lines of what the guy's talking about. He has to be even clearer for them. At least for now. But we don't want missiles shot at civilians or American soldiers. Our patience is wearing thin. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, Trump's not messing around. And that's crazy, though. That's wild, bro. Trump out here calling out leaders of countries saying, yo, man, I be knowing where you live and I'm going to take you out. Daddy's going to bring in the bunker busters. Daddy's going to bring in the B-2s, baby. And again, that is something we are all kind of watching out for at the moment is the B-2s, because they're the ones that could bring the payload in for those bunker busters. Now, I believe the munitions that we carry can hit about 200 feet into the earth and then explodes. What's going on, Blackjack? I see a baby. Blackjack sounds fun right now, actually. A little bit of gamble. Never hurt anybody. Am I right? Am I right? But it's good to see you. Thank you. I appreciate you joining the TikTok live. Hit that heart button. Spam the crap out of it for me, baby. But they can go. These bunker busters can go allegedly around 200 feet into the earth. Now, the question is how deep is the nuclear facility that the Iranians, doesn't matter, built? That's the question. So from my understanding, and maybe somebody correct me on this, the Israelis are not trained in flying our B-2s. So the only people that are going to be flying these bad boys are U.S. soldiers. I don't want this to escalate. I don't want things to get crazy. I don't want things to get spicy, but they very well could, because it looks like Donald Trump's looking for the exact same thing. And I'm hearing that he's becoming more open, we'll say, to the idea of getting involved, because I think even himself, he didn't realize how good this strike was going to be. Now, normally they give you success rates on all this, right? It's either, oh, you're going to make it or you're not. Success or failure. What's the percentages, baby? Give me the percentages. What do we got here? And maybe the percentage was kind of low, but now things shifted to being a full regime change. And it seems as if this is what Donald Trump is asking for, because he goes on later, and you'll see that in a moment. But he says, Trump also posted a message warning the Iranian regime, we now have complete and total control of the skies over Iran. Now, he's talking about the Israelis here, not necessarily the United States, but the the Israelis have full control over the skies. Now, this is kind of a callback, a reminiscent of the Gulf War. Is first you want to take out communications, and then you want to take complete control of the skies. Once you have that, it's pretty much GG fighting over that airspace. That is so valuable. Iran had good sky trackers and other defensive equipment and plenty of it, but it doesn't compare to American-made, conceived and manufactured stuff. Nobody does it better than the United States. I mean, that's correct. I mean, Trump is, people want to buy our stuff. Look at Saudi Arabia, just bought a bunch of munitions, and a bunch of other countries. It's not uncommon. And excuse me for wetting my whistle a little bit here. I talk a lot throughout the day, so I want to make sure that everything's in order. Appreciate everybody over at TikTok. If you're listening on TikTok live, well, spam that heart button. Again, it does support the show. We're streaming on all platforms: X, Rumble, YouTube, anywhere and everywhere. We have over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube alone. If you take all our subscriber count, we're probably looking at 130, 140,000 people that watch the Bald Brad Show. So appreciate everybody joining me. Can you spam that heart button? A lot of more people are going to join here and get this news. A short time later, he sent out one more message demanding in just 2 words, unconditional surrender. That's what he's asking for. Now, the question is that when will the surrender happen? It's not if it's going to happen, it's when. Between the United States and Israel, Iran is going to buckle. There's no question about it. There's not an option here where they're getting out of this unscathed, folks. It blows my mind that people still think that there's a shot here for the Iranians, especially I'm talking about their government. I'm not talking about the people. No, there is no shot here. There's no outlet. There's no other avenue that the Iranians have. They're done. And it's remarkable this still hasn't happened yet. There's something else going on here that we don't know about. There's something else taking place behind the scenes with the Iranians that clearly we're missing. Is it Pakistan? Is it the Russians is it China? Do they have a play somewhere that we don't know about? Some sort of card that's not being held? That if you land this ace, that that's going to bring it back into the game? I'm not exactly sure. That's what we have to find out here. That's what's going on. Trump has made the position of Iran clear for more than a decade, saying repeatedly that the United States could not allow rogue nations to develop nuclear weapons. This isn't that difficult, but for some people, and it's predominantly on the progressive left, they have a very hard time wrapping their head around this. And it's a shocker, I think, to all of us, a very big shocker. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also drawn a red line at a nuclear capable Iran, explaining in the aftermath of Israel's preemptive strike that Iran's refusal to halt the pursuit of nuclear weapons had left him with no choice but to stop them by force. Israel had since targeted Iranian nuclear sites and military commanders in an attempt to cripple both the Iranian regime's nuclear program and its capability to strike Israel. Correct. 100% correct. Now, some people might not like the way that the Iranians were bombed, I guess you could say, or things were dealt with. But at the end of the day, everybody's been pretty clear on exactly what they were going to do and how they were going to do it. Now, there's a great piece here, and it kind of emphasizes, I haven't read this yet, it emphasizes what I'm talking about, that Trump, the man with all the cards, this is exactly what we said yesterday. So just so you know that I'm not taking his article and his opinion piece here and using it as my own words. Everybody was with us yesterday in the morning show. Everybody heard me say that Trump holds all the cards. I've been saying this all along. Iran doesn't have any cards. They have nothing. And that's why I said that there has to be some sort of card that's not being said here. Red-handed trade said, wait a minute, U.S. betrayed Ukraine after they gave up their warheads in 1994 by agreement. Okay, well, we're not talking about Ukraine right now. We are talking about Israel and Iran, my friend. But thank you for joining the chat. We appreciate it. Welcome. Welcome. I don't know what all the caps are about. You don't have to yell at me. Israel has now complete air superiority over the entire country of Iran. By the way, this is a Dark MAGA podcast. So if you don't like a little entertainment, this isn't the channel for you. Click away. Thank you. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I learned that from Trump. Daddy Trump. I love Trump. Trump's so great. I love Trump. So Israel now has complete air superiority over the entire country of Iran, folks. Iran. Israeli Air Force jets struck a manned command center in the heart of Tehran, killing Ali Shadamandi Oh, it doesn't matter. Iran's chief of war staff, who is the most senior operational military commander in the country and the closest advisor to the supreme leader. This is a rough one for them to digest, folks. They took it right in the kisser. As Trump would say, I'm watching on all screens with my Diet Coke, and they took it hard as they could take it. That's what she said. Well, this military commander had served as the chief of war staff and commander of the emergency command center of Iran's armed forces, overseeing both the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and the regular Iranian army. So big role, big deal. And it seems as if, I mean, I don't know what type of intelligence the Israelis have here, but it seems to be top notch. Now, the question is, are they getting their stuff from us? Or are they getting it from the Mossads? I mean, how are they getting this intelligence? Because we were told this whole thing has taken years to build up. And they are doing an insanely remarkable job, whether you like it or not. It's pretty impressive stuff with what the Israelis are doing. I mean, look, we were all impressed with what they did with the freaking pagers. The pagers. I mean, that was something out of some James Bond movie that we were looking at. Y'all remember the pagers where the Hamas terrorists were trying to communicate with one another? And then they're like, we'll go back to the 90s and we'll use the pagers? I mean, when was the last time you saw a pager if it wasn't in a Marvel movie? When was the last time you saw a pager if it wasn't in a TV show? So they get these pagers and they're all giddy about it, right? All these terrorists are all giddy. They didn't know what to do with themselves. And they're like prancing in the streets. This is fun. Look at us. Can't get us. And then boom, boom, boom. Just all these pagers started going off. And they're like, I don't know what to do. So then they come together and they're trying to figure out, well, how do we communicate? How are we going to still hurt other people? How are we going to do this? And they go, cell phones? And they go, are you crazy? We can't use cell phones, you idiot. And then they start smacking him around because he's an idiot. And then you got another guy in the room that goes, how about walkie-talkies? And they go, oh my God, what an idea. What an idea. So they get walkie-talkies, and well, that didn't work out well for them either because those started exploding left and right. Again, if you're over at TikTok and you're having a good time, smash that heart button. Go crazy on the heart button because we're going to get more people in here and we're going to get the news out, the conservative news, baby. In other words, the truth out to the American people. So they take out the pagers and walkie-talkies. This is up there with that, where the targeting of these leaders is mind-bending. And the question is, how are they doing this? Folks, they're allegedly taking out people in tunnels. They're going underground for some of these people. They are targeting the apartments to the building number they are in. So it's remarkable. It's remarkable. I'll tell you what, nobody wants to be a scientist over in Iran anymore. That's for damn sure. Not a nuclear one. Well, this individual is appointed to command Iran's armed forces about 5 days ago. Wow. The two. Case in point, I suppose. The dude has not been around that long. Dude didn't even make it a week. Guy made it 40 hours. The dude was the commander of the armed forces for 40 hours. He was in a trial run because his predecessor was eliminated on day one. Oh, wow. Okay. These are people working for one of the most evil regimes on the planet, a regime that not only spreads terror throughout the region, but is responsible for the murder of hundreds, if not thousands of American troops across the region, and also happens to oppose its own people to an extraordinary degree, which is why we read that study. About 80% of Iranians allegedly are not a fan of the regime. That's an astonishing number that we looked up on Grok yesterday, was it not? Wasn't that a wild number? 80% patriots? I see on the chat again. If you're over at TikTok, we got a lot of people also joining us on Rumble, X, and YouTube. So please don't feel like TikTok's the only people we're chatting with. We got a lot of people hungry for the truth, baby. So truly bonkers. Hit that like button on all platforms. We're going to be here for a while, folks, for Dark MAGA. We also host a morning podcast, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, a multi-hour podcast each and every morning where we go over a bunch of different news as well. Isn't that astonishing, though? So one dude gets deleted on day one, and then the other guy comes in, is in command for basically, I guess, less than 40 hours. And 40 hours. Is it 40 hours? Well, the work day, sorry, 40-hour week, but you get what I'm saying. 168 hours in a week, but the guy was deleted before then. So the second guy comes in and he's gone. So what's going to happen to the third guy? That's the question. Who wants to be the third guy? Third guy's the charm. Cass says Trump is letting, let me see this. It's just kind of cut off here. Cass over at TikTok says Trump is letting Bibi ruin us. He bows to Israel. Okay. Well, that's an insane thing to say, but you know, you're welcome to say it. But somebody has to tell you in your life that that's insane. That's a crazy thing to say, Cass. Okay. If you think anybody's, if you think the United States bowing down to anybody, boy, you got to go touch grass, Cass. You got to touch grass, girl or guy. I don't know what you are, but welcome. Welcome to Dark MAGA. Iran keeps trying to fire missiles. The problem for them is that if they fire hundreds of missiles at one at a time, Israel can't spot which ballistic missile launcher are lighting up, and then they can destroy the ballistic missile launchers. So instead, what they've been relegated to doing is firing 10 at a time, 5 at a time, 1 at a time, in the hope that maybe somehow it will hold off a revolution from within. This is a radical decrease from the beginning of the war when Iran was shooting off 100 or 200 missiles at a time. Now, we all remember that. That was like day 1, day 2. We are not going to war now. Not that I'm aware of. I don't think there's no need. As of right now, there's no need to go to war because right now it's basically just between Israel and Iran. Yeah, we're there in the background, but the only way I guess we would go to war is if another country were to support Iran at the end of the day. And that could be China, it could be Russia. But I think Russia already has enough on its plate. So maybe China would be the one to get involved, but we'll have to see. But I don't think we're going to war. I think Iran is having a very, very, very tough time. You got it. Thanks for joining. And I could be wrong. Look, I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. Okay. At the same time, Iran's international reported, quote, the hacker group Predatory Sparrow, that's a cool name, claimed responsibility on Tuesday for a cyber attack targeting Bank Sefa, one of Iran's oldest financial institution with ties to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, and the army. The group alleged it had destroyed all data at the bank. The claim comes amid reports of widespread banking disruptions in Iran, which isn't going to make anybody happy there. That's the Iranian citizen. They're already upset with what the regime is doing there. So on Monday, Israel attacked Iranian state media headquarters. There was a clip of that we did see. So the banking system is collapsing in Iran. The propaganda system is collapsing in Iran. The military system is collapsing in Iran. Qatar, a front for the Iranian regime, is trying to talk its way out of this, saying that the Israeli strikes are all ill-considered and will have repercussions on oil prices, adding that they have discussed with the IAEA ways to improve the security of the nuclear facilities. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. Some psycho over at TikTok saying, just admit you should have voted for Harris. There's always one in there. There's always some crazy. They're always out there clowning around. Those kids always out there acting amok. You know, something about me feels good when you are probably the only person in that individual's life to tell them that they're not well. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're the only person that's probably telling individuals in their life that, hey, there's something wrong and that you should seek help. Jeff said, I had to hit some hearts here for you. I appreciate it. Keep spamming that. It helps a lot. Lipstick says, so friends that are in Israel are posting on Snap that their leadership has said we are going to something. I'm not so sure about that, but we'll see. Go and enlist, gang. This is what you voted for. No, nothing's happening. But see, this is what people do. They're so riled up. They're so caught up in their milieu. They're so far off the reservation that they start spazzing out. And when people spaz out, right, they get all nuts and crazy and they start freaking out. They don't know what to do. They're in a situation. And so then the chaos just feeds into more of their emotions and their feelings. They don't use their brain anymore. Their brain fell out of their head a long time ago. And then what they're doing here is they're looking around going, what's happening? What's going on? So I do not have a moderator on TikTok. Jeff, do you want to be a moderator in the future? I don't have one as of right now. I don't have one. But anyway, let's get back to this. So too little, too late, guys. Sorry, but that's going to be a big no on that one. By the way, the idea that there is a giant oil spike is also not true. Qatar is lying about this, according to the Wall Street Journal. So here you go. The big news in oil markets since Israelis attacked on Iran's nuclear program is the price spike that wasn't. So we looked at this actually the other day because somebody did bring this up for us as well. I believe it was, I think it was a Saturday or Sunday's episode. I did look at oil prices, and they actually haven't gone up all that much, crude oil. So Brent crude popped from 66 a barrel or so to a high of 78, but on Monday it was back down to 73. And I did see that myself. Now, could this go up? Sure. This is, we're only on Tuesday here. These could spike. Who knows? The non-panic owes to ample global supply, and it's a lesson for Congress and the Trump administration as they contemplate putting new sanctions on Russian oil exports. So Israel's prime minister stated, quote, "We had half a century to conflict spread by this regime that terrorizes everyone in the Middle East, has bombed the Aramco airfields in Saudi Arabia, is spreading terrorism and subversion and sabotage everywhere. The forever war is what Iran wants." Now, again, we said in the morning show that I'm not so sure that this is what the either side wants necessarily, but let's build the case. Let's say Iran does want this. Let's say they want war. Let's just play into the hand that's being dealt here. Well, I would say so does Israel. I think Israel wants war as well. So obviously this is one-sided because it's coming from the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro wrote it, but I would say Israel wants it just as much as the Iranians might want it. Could be wrong. And I'm actually most likely am wrong, but actions speak otherwise. And, you went in and attacked these guys. And I understand Trump gave them 60 days. On day 61, you went in, but that's here nor there. We got to deal with what we have. And they're beginning the brink of nuclear war. In fact, what Israel is doing is preventing this, bringing an end to this aggression. Because the Iranian media were taken completely offline yesterday, Netanyahu actually gave a message to the Iranian people via an alternative network that was broadcasting into Iran, which is crazy. That's something you see in movies. Timer is ticking. We have seen more by morning. How far will this go? I don't think it's going to go that far. I really don't, because Trump is making some pretty big threats to the supreme leader, and the Iranians are crippled. I know people are telling you otherwise, but that country, unless somebody steps in like Russia, China, Pakistan, hell, I don't know, somebody, I think they're finished, you guys. They can keep launching a few missiles here or there, but I think you're not going to see much here going forward. I could be wrong, but I think Iran blew their load early. There was reports even 2 days ago that they're running low on munitions, and that's why a lot of people were pointing out the idea that China was flying in a craft. They had 2 craft that were flying towards Iran, and people were kind of wondering, hey, are these guys bringing in munitions? Like, what's going on here? Bing Bong says all Trump is doing is proving Nick Fuentes right. I don't watch Nick Fuentes, so I have no idea what he even says. So Cece says, hello, Patriots. Made it for Dark MAGA. Love it. Love you, Cece. Good to see you here. Dude, you're delusional. I don't know who Dyer's talking to. There's a lot going on over at TikTok. Seems like there's an all-out war. Not just in Israel and Iran, not just Russia and Ukraine, but also clearly in the Bald Brad chat. And Jibbs is over there taking it, baby. That's why we need Jeff. Jeff has his boxing gloves on. So everybody knows Jeff, right? Jeff is just swinging them out over there at TikTok. The dude's taking on like all these liberals. It's awesome. Jeff is just putting them in. We need help over here, folks. If you are a patriot, help Jibbs out in the chat. Not only hitting that heart button, but also slapping around a few liberals. Have some fun. This is what it's all about, baby. So where was I here? Broadcasting said, I think you should understand these dictators in Iran. Sure, they fear us, but they fear you, the people of Iran, even more. And your hour of freedom is near. It's happening now. They understand that 80% of the people in Iran despise them. So that's the number that everybody keeps using. It's allegedly higher than that. It's like 81, 82%. I hear a lot of them. Now, remember, the reason why I also believe it's actually more, which is an insane thing to say, is because when they did this study, they did it on 150,000 Iranians, allegedly. But the government of Iran also has a lot of say in these studies themselves. And so through these observational studies, what happens is all it is pretty much a questionnaire. No different than somebody calling you on the phone and asking you a bunch of questions. But with these types of observational studies, is you're basically a fly on the wall. You can't really manipulate or be hands-on with the study itself. So what happens is a lot of biases seep into that. And especially when you have a government that's involved as much as it was with the Iranian government in these questions. That's why I'm saying it's pretty remarkable that it was 80% of the people in Iran despise them, is because if you have a government that doesn't like the fact that negative news is coming out about them, or a study that's going to present them as negative is involved, then you would expect those numbers to probably be higher than 80%, if you know what I'm saying. You know, I do these videos that I broadcast to the Iranian people. I tell them how we could offer them help in the water shortage that you have. The regime refuses, of course. We tell them how we could cooperate. These two glorious ancient people that have cooperated from the times of Cyrus to the Great, who freed the Jews. Now it's time for you to be free, and you have that opportunity. The people of Iran, I think, have a brilliant future, and our friendship can be restored to what it was and what it should be. This is the time. Now, I don't think people understand the full magnitude of the strategy that's involved here. Can you imagine if, let's just say if, the Iranian regime crippled, restart, fresh, you actually get somebody in there that cares, that doesn't want to support terrorism. I'm not saying you're going to create peace in the Middle East, but man, you are leading the way to it. You already got the Saudis that want to help us, and we'll put that in air quotes because, you know, Saudis want to do what Saudis do, and we know the history with that. But also, with the 4D chess maneuver, you were able to resolve India-Pakistan involvement. You're able to get that done. This could get done probably, I want to say, maybe in the next week. I mean, the Israelis themselves are saying days. They're not saying weeks. They're saying days. You probably will have Russia-Ukraine maybe figured out at some point in the next 4 years. That's the hope. And things will hopefully be stabilized. Now, who's next to probably pop off here is China. I'm not going to get into that just yet, but we saw reports 2.5 years ago that the Chinese are going to invade Taiwan in 2025. And guess what year it is? 2025. So we'll get there when we get there. But Netanyahu reached out to the Iranian people. Thus far, the Israelis have basically done the world's dirty work. The Israelis have taken out the vast majority of Iran's ballistic missile launchers. They've now taken out Iran's top military layer and many of the members of the secondary military layer, and about to probably take out the third layer of the military layer. The only things really left on the table here as Iranians right now is the Ayatollah himself, the nuclear facility of Fordo. Remember, Fordo is the one that's underground. This is what I was describing to you guys earlier, that you need a very specific type of munitions to reach that level. And I'm not exactly sure how deep Fordo goes. Matter of fact, let's find that out. Let me find that out for you, how deep that is. Because again, I believe the bunker busters themselves, the ones that need to be utilized here, only go 200 feet into the ground. Let me find this for you. So let me actually see here. Let me find this for you. So if they go 200 feet into the ground, I'm going to find out how deep this is, because maybe you have to use multiple. So here we go. Okay, so the Fordo fuel enrichment plant located near, was it Qom, or whatever you say? I don't know how you say it, but it's in Iran, is buried approximately 80 to 90 meters. So what that is about 262 to 295 feet. So you'd probably need a couple of these things underground beneath a mountain designed to protect it from aerial attacks. Well, there's not going to be a mountain anymore if this progresses. Yeah, what about mother? Well, let's find out. Let me look up how, which type of American bomb would be needed to take this out? Would the Moab or mother of all bombs work? Let's find out. But again, the one that everyone's talking about is the B-2, the one that's going to be utilizing it. My question is a strike plan towards them. I don't know what that means, but okay, to destroy a deeply buried and heavily fortified nuclear facility like Fordo, which is located approximately about, we'll say 300 feet. Let's be generous. Let's give it 300 feet. That's like the deepest it's going to be. Underground beneath a mountain, the most suitable U.S. weapon would be a massive ordnance penetrator. It's called a MOP, M-O-P. So this is a 30,000 pound precision guided bunker buster. So this is the one that we're talking about. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. It's a bunker buster, 30,000 pound bomb specifically designed to penetrate deeply buried and hardened targets, such as underground nuclear facilities. The MOP can penetrate up to 200 feet or 61 meters of rock or concrete before detonating. Isn't that a remarkable ingenuity right there? The thing is going to go 200 feet into the earth before it ever explodes. Man, I wonder what altitude this has to be dropped at, making it the only conventional U.S. weapon believed capable. Wow, there you go. Believed capable. We could potentially find out new technology here, folks. capable of potentially destroying Fordo's underground infrastructure. It is delivered exclusively by the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber due to its size and weight. So again, I am not on Twitch. We're going to try to get to Twitch, though, sooner or later, but I'm not on Twitch. We'll try at some point to get on Twitch here this week. We're trying on Kick, but Kick keeps, again, no pun intended, Kick keeps kicking us. Don't you love that? Now, here's the other one. No, the question was about the mother of all bombs, was it not? So that was the question that we're going to answer here. The massive ordnance air blast, also known as Moab, but it's also called the mother of all bombs, is not suitable for this purpose. So here's your answer. The Moab weighing basically almost 22,000 pounds. So that one's 22,000. The MOP, the massive ordnance, the bunker buster, is 30,000 pounds. So the bunker buster is 8 to 9,000 pounds heavier, the bunker buster, than the Moab, the mother of all bombs. Well, this one is an air burst thermobaric bomb designed to destroy surfaces or near surface targets. So there you go. That answers your question, meaning this is out of the question. It's not going to happen, such as caves, tunnel entrances, or a soft to medium structure over a wide area, blast radius up to 1 mile. Whoa, dude, what a munition that is. It lacks the penetrating capability needed to reach deeply buried facilities like Fordo, as it's not designed to bury through significant rock or concrete before exploding. So there's your answer. There's your answer. Somebody else, do you think World War III is going to happen? No, I do not. And will the U.S. be okay? 100% be okay. Let me give you guys an idea, because a lot of people are freaking out over World War III. You guys, the third largest military in the world in the 90s was Iraq. And let me see. How quickly did U.S. defeat Iraq in the Gulf War? Now we were there for months, but it happened fast. So we destroyed the third largest military in the world in 100 hours in the Gulf War. I'm going to say that again, because I think a lot of people, we haven't seen the full capability of the United States might in a long time. So I want to give you guys reassurance here. There's not going to be a World War III. In the Gulf War, Iraq, and I could be getting that wrong, was one of the largest militaries on planet Earth, and we wiped them out in 100 hours. This also was a similar conflict that we saw, I believe, in the 80s, 70s, 80s, somewhere in that range, with Iran, that we're seeing right now. I'm not exaggerating when I say that we destroyed their capabilities in 8 to 12 hours. So Iran, way back when, and some would say they're even weaker now, and with our capabilities back then, wiped them out in a work shift. So I want you guys to remember this. You go to work at 8 a.m. By 5 p.m., a large military is completely obsolete by the United States military. You guys got to understand how insanely large, and I'm trying to be careful with my words. Our military is one you do not want to mess around with. And the fact that you have 2 destroyers in the Mediterranean right now, and Trump just yesterday designated 2 United States aircraft carriers to the Middle East, 2 strike groups. I don't think you guys understand how much firepower that is. There's no World War III. There's no Iran coming out of this with a nuclear weapon. It's not happening. And again, I keep emphasizing, I don't mean to be stern, but there is no situation, unless another country steps in like China or Russia, that is big, that is going to make the difference here. Iran is done. The question is that, do they keep their supreme leader in place, or do they overthrow the government? That's the only change. Other than that, there is no nuclear weapon happening here. People go, oh, you're delusional. You don't know what's happening. I can only be so clear. You explain to me how they are going to get out of this then. I love this. I love it. They're not going to be an answer. They don't have a clue. They have no idea. No idea. So let's get back to this. So now we have our answer in terms of what happened here with the munitions and what most likely will take place. So the mother of all bombs is out of the question. They're going to use the MOP, which is the massive ordnance air blast, or excuse me, the massive ordnance penetrator, the bunker buster, that's only capable by a B-2 stealth bomber. And Israel doesn't have those. Where were we at? Okay, so thus far, the Israelis have basically done the world's dirty work. That is correct, and that's what we called out before this ever happened. I said Donald Trump is not going to do this himself. He's going to have the Israelis do it. Bada bing, bada boom, was right once again. The Israelis have taken out the vast majority of Iran's ballistic missile launchers. They now have taken out Iran's top military layer and many of the members of the secondary military layer themselves. Oh, so now they're going on to the third. So we read that part. Israel has refrained from hitting the oil field specifically because it does not wish to create any sort of serious oil spike. True. It has refrained from hitting Khamenei because it would like to see Khamenei surrender or flee. Now, I wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility here of the Iranians themselves taking out their own oil fields. Oh, well, come on, really? Yeah, really. It wouldn't be out of the realm to have some rogue organization, a terrorist organization, be hired on behalf of the supreme leader to go out and take out their own oil to screw over everybody else. And then why would you do that? Well, because then Americans are going to be pissed. Oh, see, look, Trump's getting involved, blame Israel, oh, those Zionists or whatever. Again, I'm not for Israel. I'm not for Iran either. I don't want a nuclear warhead to be established by them because I don't trust them because they're the leading sponsor of terror. But I have no skin in the game. I'm an American. I love America. I do what's in best of the Americans' interest. So I like having Israel over there and them as our ally. You might not say, well, they're not our ally. The United Nations doesn't register them as an ally. No, nor do we. Oh, okay, the paperwork doesn't say it. Okay, they're our ally. They're our ally. They're our friend. Whether you like that or not, they're not. And I like having an aircraft carrier in the desert in the Middle East. I kind of like that. Yes, I do. Because if anything were to happen, I know whether you're Democrat or Republican, you're safe. Because there's an aircraft carrier named Israel in the Middle East for us to utilize. And yes, I do like that assurance, and I do like that there. I do. In the same way, I like South Korea right there, and I love having a military, multiple militaries there, because it's just it gives assurance to the North Koreans to not mess around, because people find out really quick. I like having bases everywhere. I like having that safety because I get to sleep at night. It's nice. See, if you're in Israel, you don't get to sleep well at night because there's air raid sirens going off all the time. And you have a country called Iran, specifically the supreme leader that wants to wipe you off the face of the earth. And that's not my words. That's his words. Khamenei, because it would like to see Khamenei surrender or flee. Correct. Presumably because if Israel were to delete the Khamenei, then there's always the possibility that there's some sort of red button somewhere that does let off the rest of the missiles all at once. I don't know if that's true. It seems like they're struggling already as it is, and it's been 3 or 4 days here. Then there's the Fordo nuclear facility, which we've talked about. If Fordo goes down and ends all nuclear future for the Ayatollahs, at that point the regime is extraordinarily vulnerable. This is why the Ayatollah has built Fordo below a mountain roughly 90 meters deep, encased in cement, in order to prevent exactly what kind of Israeli airstrikes that have been taking off nuclear facilities at this installation. Now, I find it fascinating that, well, we're not making anything for nuclear weapons, but you would go to this extent for energy? Really? You're going to go to this extent for energy? I don't think so. And by the way, there's a lot of sites that have been showing up recently within the last few days that nobody knew about that were also enriching uranium. That's weird. And then you're also not going to let people go and take a little peek-see under the hood into the facilities. That's also a little weird. A little odd. That's all I'm saying. It's a little odd that you're not going to allow people come in and expect things, but it's okay. Nothing to see here. Just let's get out of here. No, that's not uranium. No, it's not a nuclear bomb. That's a box. That's a box with a big bomb in it. It's like, come on. Let's not be stupid here. Let's stop playing stupid. It's just the people playing stupid in the chat. Let's stop playing stupid. Okay, come on. We're not silly. Just so much fun watching y'all flail. I don't know who he's talking about, but Jibs, he got kicked out of small nonprofits because he was such a mess. It looks like, Jeff, let me know if you want somebody kicked. I don't know who needs to be kicked or who not, but you let me know. We'll take care of them, baby. We're going to take care of them. But it looks like you're having a good conversation with that guy. Wild screen name. Wild username. Dude sounds like he's trying to convince himself. Anywho. This is why the Ayatollah has built Fordo below a mountain. We got that. So the only people on the planet Earth who have the planes capable of carrying the bunker busters, which would make the process easy, are the Americans. Israel, I'm sure, has come up with some sort of clever way to take out Fordo or to wreck the inside of the facility. There's no way that the Israelis went into believing that they were the no way to take out Fordo. I mean, I think there's maybe truth to that, but I mean, they're crafty, man. You got to give it up to the Israelis, dude. They are crafty people. That's why you don't mess with them. You just leave them be, let them do their thing. When is Trump addressing the United States? I don't know. Check his Truth Social. I have no idea. The thing that would end this war pretty quickly, when I say pretty quickly, I mean the 24 hours, is the B-2 that the United States is carrying of capable bunker busters. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Trump is willing to offer, but what I'm hearing right now is that he's cozying up to the idea of letting them use the B2. And by letting them use the B2, I mean that us driving the thing and dropping it. The problem is now you're getting your hands dirty, right? And Trump is trying to walk away and not get his hands dirty. Trump is trying to make sure that everything is A-okay, that, you know, he's still kind of taking care of everything over there and just basically clearing Israeli airspace for them by using munitions, allegedly, that will end up making sure that no Israelis are harmed. Now, how is that being carried out and how much is actually being involved? I'm not exactly sure. I don't even really know how many munitions have been launched by our craft that are out there. Not exactly sure. But if you're enjoying what's going on here, make sure you hit that like button and support us by sending this out there and sharing this TikTok, this X, whatever it is. We got hundreds of people watching Dark MAGA podcast. Appreciate all of you choosing my show, my channel to get your news from. Again, we're going to be covering all sorts of stuff today. Dark MAGA is not just about this conflict. It's about all sorts of things. So glad everybody is joining us. And we did cover the 4D chess this morning. And again, I'm going to withhold going further into detail on that one because I want to see what comes more of this at the end of the day. Now, before we move on to other news, I do want to give you a quick few updates here. Let's see what's happening. So the IDF issues new evacuation warning for Tehran. So that's interesting. We saw the evacuation order by Donald Trump last night. The IDF spokesperson just issued an evacuation warning for a specific district. That's interesting. Now, I wish I spoke the language so I know what's being said here, but I don't. Megan David Adam, no reports of injuries or missile impacts of the latest Iranian barrage. So that was actually a while ago that barrage took place. So that's always good that there's no casualties. And by the way, I want to be clear. I don't even want to see Iranian casualties either. I don't want to see any casualties. I mean, war is ugly. War is terrible. And I want people to live in peace and harmony. I can only be so clear. Some good news here from CBP. Let's make sure we get into this a little bit. 0 illegal aliens released into the United States in May by Customs and Border Protection. Wow. I mean, talk about a difference between Trump and Joey, huh? Oh boy. Remember when Joe Biden was president? Gosh, that was terrible. The dude, remember, conservative numbers, 45% vacation time, more than any sitting president in American history. I'm gonna say this again because it always triggers the left. You gotta love this. Remember, Joe Biden hit a golf ball backwards, fell up a flight of stairs numerous amounts of times. This guy wandered off and got lost. He actually wandered off so hard the Secret Service lost him at times. I mean, he arrived at a restaurant and he was looking around aimlessly. No Secret Service around whatsoever. No security at all. And everybody was shocked and in awe. It's like seeing a grizzly show up somewhere. You just can't believe it. You're completely dumbfounded that a grizzly just showed up. It's like a T-Rex appearing inside your dinner. It's like, what's happening? I don't know where it's going with that. All right, I tried a shot from the hip. Come at me. Come at me. So he wanders off. He looks for dead people in the crowd. I kid you not. He was looking for dead people. And they had to remind him that the person's been gone for a few days. And then Karine Jean-Pierre, the spokesperson, the leader of the free world, goes, oh, she was just top of mind. Yeah, no, he was thinking about her, top of mind. Well, if she was so top of mind, wouldn't you know that she was gone, that she stepped into the other realm? And speaking of stepping into the other realm, Joe Biden is so close to the other realm that he was talking to dead people. Do y'all remember this? That he wasn't just hearing them, but he was physically seeing dead people that have been passed on for 40 years, longer than I've been alive. See, this is news to a lot of the left that have been trickling in here. They've never heard this before because they watch CNN and MSNBC. They never heard the truth about Joey or they block it out. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. Joey was talking to dead people. He was full on having conversations. It was a remarkable thing. 40 years gone. This guy sniffed children. This guy allowed millions of people to pour across the border that harmed you and your family or has the potential to harm you and your family, depending on who's listening. Doesn't matter who you are, Democrat, Republican. He allowed it to happen. And here you have Donald Trump saving the day once again, not just on a global scale, but also on a domestic scale. CBP did not release a single uno one illegal alien into the United States during the month of May. A new report from the Federal Immigration Enforcement Agency revealed. I was told, you guys, that, we needed legislation to do all this. Now, this is released into the interior of the country, right? This doesn't mean it's stopping illegal immigration from happening. But just want to point out here, the figure lies in sharp contrast to May of 2024 under Biden, who approximately let in. They released, meaning you spoke to this person and said, hey, come back later, please. 62,000 people just in May alone. Donald Trump didn't allow in any. Zero. None. Not even a uno individual. Remarkable. Remarkable. But remember, you need legislation to do this, you guys. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, you got to go through Congress to do this type of stuff. Give me a break. It shows you how weak Joe Biden was. Remember, all these people voted for Joe. But remember, we're the crazies, right? Oh, we're delusional. No, let's go look at what Joey did the last 4 years. You want to get your feet wet in that one? You want to rehash all that stuff out? Joey, the psycho, didn't have a clue what was happening. The guy spent minimum 45% of his presidency on vacation. That doesn't even include the time spent. Remember, they had trouble getting this guy to bed. This is not my thinking. Axios reported on this. They originally reported they couldn't get the guy out of bed earlier than 10 a.m. So he would only work from the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And then about a year later, that reporting changed. And then it was from noon to 4. They were calling a lid. Mind you, we know people that are in the White House correspondents that watch the show. They were reporting themselves that he wouldn't get out of bed. That's why you would see him come down at noon with the CPAP machine marks on his face, because he was sleeping. Didn't do anything. Had to use auto pen. The guy couldn't even write his own signature, you guys. And we're supposed to be embarrassed for voting for Donald Trump? Get out of here. You voted for a guy that doo-dooed his pants. He doo-dooed his pants. He got lost at times. His teleprompter went 4 years undefeated. Joey didn't know what was going on. Give me a break. Okay. The house smelled when he was there. It was icky. But they don't want to talk. See, they have to turn I tell you, they do this. The Democrat. Now, I'm not talking about centrist Democrats. Please understand that. I'm not talking about the people that are actually sane, like they know what's going on. I'm talking about the people that are loony, the people that are a little off, the people that kind of look at the dinner table and don't realize that they're the crazy one. Do you know those people that I'm talking about? We've all known them because they're part of our family. Yeah, I'm talking about those people. Little off, little cookie. I mean, these are the people that go out there and protest in front of vehicles and then are shocked when they're ran over. They can't believe that they got ran over because they stood in front of an oncoming car. That's somebody that Darwin finds a way. Life finds a way. Okay, Jurassic Park phrase. Now, do I want somebody to be physically injured during these protests? Absolutely not. I don't like violence. But if I stepped in front of an oncoming vehicle, what do you think would happen? Do you think I would blame the guy driving or the gal driving? Go, how could you run over me? I'm the one that went into the middle of the roadway. Let's all try this. Hey, any of you silly people over there on the progressive left, go stand in front of a train. Can you let me know how that works out? You want to go? Why don't you go protest in front of a train? An oncoming train. Anybody in here? I'm on TikTok. I'm on Rumble. I'm everywhere. I'm looking at all chats right now. Anybody in the TikTok realm or anybody out there, anybody just say, I would love to stand and protest in front of an oncoming train. Let me know. I'm waiting. Let's see. Anybody? Hello? I see you. Come on. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah, you big babies. I thought you were really for this, right? You're really protesting, really standing up to Trump. Yeah, go try it in front of an oncoming train. I guess not. Yeah, you wimps. Yeah, you don't really believe in anything then. Oh, you'll stand in front of a motorized vehicle. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you don't really believe in what you believe in until you stand in front of a train. That's what I thought. Shib says, you expect them to understand actions have consequences? Not with that party. They wouldn't know a consequence if it hit them in the face. They're dumbfounded. What was that? Like the people getting hit by all these vehicles or something happening to them, like going to jail for lighting a building on fire. They're completely blown away by it. That whole party, the idea of personal responsibility or consequences went out the window a long time ago. Under the leadership of this administration, CBP has received historic support, resulting in another 93% decrease in illegal crossings along the southwest border this month when compared with last year. Border numbers continue to trend at historic lows, reinforcing the sustained success of our enforcement efforts. So there's some news for you as well. Let's go to the chat a little bit. Let's spend some time in the chat just saying what's up to people. That's what Dark Mag is all about, is we get to spend time a little bit over there in the chat. Over at Rumble, Betts is saying, speaking of consequences, the Democrats have been calling for so much violence, and when their own are deleted and hurt, suddenly Schumer is up there saying the violence has to stop. Hypocrite. Schumer's always been a hypocrite. I mean, the guy, as I've always mentioned, would play a perfect villain in a Batman movie, which is true, which is absolutely true. Mizzy says, wonder if we could get in trouble if we attach spikes to our vehicles before running over protesters. Well, let's not run over anybody. Let's not do that. That's not a good thing. But some would say that maybe that's why the truckers have those big spikes on the wheels. But I don't wish for anybody to be hurt. And I'm dead serious about that. I don't want anybody to be hurt. Monica, that looks like a new name. Good to see Monica over there at YouTube. I voted for Trump Vance. Well, welcome, Monica. Heck yeah. Love that. And glad that you found us over at YouTube. So everybody give Monica a shout out in the chat. There's somebody new. We have a lot of regulars over here, so they are happy that you joined them. Praying for Gnome. Absolutely. Q, it's good to see you. CC, it's good to see you. Man, I get called privileged because I am against the protest. Sheesh. Yeah, the color. My question is always like, so I have white skin, right? But my family is Italian, so I can tan really dark. And I used to be very dark when I was a kid. I even had blonde hair, and all my hair would lighten up, right? It's kind of like that type of tanning. So my dad was always tan as well. My parents met surfing. My mom could tan really easily too. So my question is that when do I transition from having white privilege to not having white privilege? Can any of you guys any of you psycho lefties in the chat, can you guys let me know? That's what I love about TikTok, is you get everybody. You know what I mean? You get everybody over there. Look at them spazzing out. You guys got to go over to TikTok. They're spazzing. Oh boy. Oh gosh. You are such a W. Thank you. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you. But people are being so triggered. I love it. I love it. Just like LA, New York City riots, a lot of riots happening, a lot of craziness happening. Speaking of some craziness, let's do this. Let's see what's going on over at X for a little bit. This is what's happening here. Today's news, DHS Secretary Noem hospitalized after allergic reaction. Okay, so this is what Monica was praying for. I was a little confused by what you meant, Monica, but now it's making a little bit more sense to me. Thank you for bringing awareness to that, by the way. Prayers are always welcome. By the way, pray for anybody that's injured, hurt. It doesn't matter who you are, unless you're a terrorist and somebody is violently harming somebody, then I can care less. But again, I don't want people harmed. I can only be so clear. The certain party in our country seems to want that, but that's here nor there. So, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was hospitalized on Tuesday in Washington, D.C. after suffering an allergic reaction. Interesting. She was transported to the hospital, by out of abundance of caution. Okay, good. So that's why I was like, how bad is it? Because I mean, man, this could escalate quickly. Did you watch the police chief in Colorado today? He was fired. No, I did not, but I'll have to check that out. Shout out to you. Thank you for letting me know about that. We'll check that out. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that Secretary Noem is alert and currently recovering. So let me see that Colorado police chief. Let's take a little peek-see at him. Now, Colorado police chief, though, Colorado tends to lean left. So I am the light. Whose side are you on? Let me source this out. Let's see really quick. Let me see what you're talking about, girl. Let's see what you have here. Okay. You're talking about the Boulder police chief? That was from June 1st. That wasn't from today. What are you talking about? Maybe it's this guy. Okay, so you're talking about the Aurora? Colorado police chief slams the fake bleeding hearts protesting the deportation of illegals who commit crimes because often they're targeting the same immigrants they came in with. He called out their hypocrisy. Interesting. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm so sorry. All right, here we go.
For everybody. I think, again, when you know that you have individuals that are fully armed in and around your apartment complex, and I think what's sad about it too is that I think many of these victims, it's almost become normalized. I think it's almost become to the point where they think, oh, it's just part of living in America. It's part of being victimized by other immigrants who have come to this country with them when they fled to this country, And unfortunately, some of those immigrants have decided to take on gang affiliation, or they were already gang active, which we have found in many, many of the individuals that we have stopped. And I think that's really the sad part, is that they think that's normal. Well, that's not normal in America. And victimization should not be normalized in America. Unfortunately, that's what the discussion is right now. And so again, when I see a lot of these groups, when I see a lot of these demonstrations, when I see these things that are unfolding every single day, where they're talking about the immigrants' rights and the deportations and how it's impacting the immigrants, I hope for 1 second, 1 instant, that many of those people who are involved in that realize how naive they are and how quickly they have forgotten the immigrants themselves who are being victimized over and over and over and over. And I never see protest, I never see demonstrations, I never see any marches on behalf of the victims. Not once. I'll never see a group walking down the street saying we're protesting victimization of our immigrant population. I only see protests for people that are involved and have criminal nexus being deported, and that has become the story. And that's troubling, because in this apartment complex, Dallas, that's who repeatedly and continually got victimized. It wasn't the population that resided here, it was the population that came here for a better life, and they were completely ignored, they were completely set aside, and they were completely victimized almost daily, if not weekly, by many of the same people that they fled their country to get away from that behavior and that pattern. And yet that's not the story that you hear. And that's alive and well, unfortunately, and it's not just Aurora either. I don't want to be naive and think, oh, Aurora's got this unique problem, because that's not the problem. If you look at a lot of these agencies and these organizations that have had this influx of population, I can guarantee you, whether they know it or whether they don't know it, they are dealing with very similar situations that we are dealing with here.
Chief, do you think these people are juveniles, adults, a mix?
Again, I think it's a mixed. I think, again, when you look at most gangs and how they are expanded and how they grow, I think it's through recruitment. I think it's through grooming. I think it's through bringing people that, again, are looking.
It's a good clip. That is a very good clip. Thanks for the clip. I am the light. Shout out to you for bringing awareness to that. Glad we're able to show that. And it's just wild that it's the illegal immigrants that are also attacking the immigrants. Not all cases, right? It's also immigrants attacking immigrants. I mean, yeah, you got everybody involved, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some of that taking place as well. So shout out to you again for the video idea. No, yeah, you got it. You're welcome. Thanks for bringing it up. Love that. I love when the community gets involved. I mean, that's what this show's about, right? It's not all about me. It's always about the community, and we got one of the best. Again, if you're watching us over TikTok, please understand there's also a lot of people watching on X, YouTube, and Rumble. And we're on all platforms here, and we're reaching a whole new audience with TikTok. So appreciate everybody over there. And thanks for always liking my videos and hearting this stream, this live right now. Bing Chilling says, I will not blank before Israel can't be a good, I don't know what that's about. Okay, whatever. So this is always good news. So this is something we'll cover on the Ball Brad Show tomorrow morning as well. But under Trump, blue collar wages soar at fastest rate since 1969. Watch the graph. I think there's a graph here. Yeah, there is a graph. Wait till we get to the graph. I mean, how are you going to explain this? You know, the people on the left, how are you going to explain this, huh? Oh, well, they're getting off the backs of Trump's riding the coattails of Joe Biden. What they're going to say? Trump's riding on the coattails of Joey. Sure he is. Okay, sure. God, I love it. Look at dirty shoes. Democrats have never seen those before. Wages for blue-collar workers are up more in the first 5 months of President Donald Trump's second term than any other president since 1969. Trump is doing amazing work right now. And wall-to-wall coverage is how terrible Trump is on legacy media. Oh yeah, they're the ones we should trust. Gotcha. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm a believe CNN and MSNBC. Yeah. Something Gardner said, dude's lost birth control hat. No idea what you're talking about, but welcome to the show nonetheless. We invite all people here, my friend. All people are welcome to the table. The question is, you might need somebody to help feed you. We might need somebody to give you the airplane. Boo! open up. By the way, shout out for the name, huh? I don't know whether you're for or against us, but it don't matter, baby. We're all Americans at the end of the day. Quote, thanks to POTUS, pro-growth, America First policies, real wages for hourly workers are up nearly 2% in the first 5 months of the real Donald Trump's second term. The strongest growth in 60 years. 60 years. Look at this. Look at this graph. Oh, Democrats, how are you going to explain this? Oh, no. Geez. Oh, wow. There's only a few here that seem to be up, and they're also happen to be Republican. It says here, Bessa posts include a graph showing 1.7% wage growth for blue-collar workers defined as non-supervisory and production workers during the first 5 months of Trump's second term, the next highest wage growth rate for those workers since 1969 during Trump's first term, when it hit 1.3% over the first 5 months. Now, let's hope this trend keeps going. This is from, I mean, it says it right here, SOAR. So, I mean, the image is up, but that's where it's coming from. By the way, I love this, right? Because I actually educate instructor for statistics. It doesn't always matter where the data comes from. There's not always biases involved into the scope that you think they are. So I love this because whenever you bring up some sort of study, it's like, well, who did it? Well, because this person did it and they so happen to be right or left leaning, doesn't matter which side, there must inherently be bias. Sure, at some point there is bias within it. The question is how much that bias basically skew the data in any sort of direction. It's unbelievable, really. It always blows my mind. That's always the argument. Well, we got to throw out all this data because it's either right or left wing did it. Oh, they're the ones happening. I'm not saying that's your case being made, but so let's block that guy. So that guy's not gonna be talking anymore. There you go. Look at that. Blocked him. If you're gonna spam the chat, you can get out of here. So we have here, no president has done that before except President Trump in his first term. Hardworking Americans and Main Street businesses have never had a stronger ally in the White House. Thanks to POTUS, again, growth is up. So here's that picture. We'll just keep that up a little bit. Let's keep that up a little bit longer. Let's just do that a little bit longer. I love that. Oops. I absolutely love this. This is perfect. There we go. Let's keep that up. Oops. I keep doing that. My bad. So give me the power, Brad. I will off stream. I don't know how to do it right now, dude. I will though. I need you over there, but I think I got it handled for today. But yeah, we're definitely going to need some moderators over there. So I appreciate you helping, man. Always. Jeff is the best. And by the way, Jeff is a very good debater over at TikTok. I've heard him live. The guy's awesome. Wait, so this graph is a lie? Not all graphs lie, but you know, explain to me. Let's do this. Can you explain to me where'd that one go? Where'd she go? CAD. Explain to me why the graph is a lie. Somebody explain to me. Let's do this. Let's see them explain it rather than me explaining it. Let's see. What's Chance is saying? Jibs, explain to me what Chance is saying. I was asking a question, not making a statement. Holy, wow. Bro, I was asking a question. Yeah, I know, but I don't know what question you're asking. I'm confused. Wait, so the graph? No, I'm saying the graph is not a lie to the extent of what we know. What I'm saying is that it doesn't matter if you're left or right, because somebody else was commenting that the graph itself, depending on who's the one that did the study, inherently must be so biased that the data has to be skewed. That's what I'm saying. Well, we have to take it as accurate. Yes. I'm going to take it as accurate. By the way, even if this was left leaning, I'll still take it accurate. So yes, I'm going to take it as accurate. Yes. It was done. I mean, it was done by is done by SOAR. So that's seasonally adjusted annual rate reputable or is reputable. It's a widely accepted statistical tool used by economists and government agencies. So, like for example, like the Bureau of Labor Statistics and Census Bureau would do this. So these are the ones that would utilize these studies as well. So I'd say it's pretty good. So if you want to go ahead and retweet that or whatever, you could. Numbers don't lie. People do. That is true. People manipulate numbers all the time. The graph is more believable. I mean, what Democrat understands basic economics. That's true. Bill Kling says, why is telling people to get out of Tehran then? Well, because something might happen. That's why. I mean, why else would you tell people to get out of somewhere? Dog, all I did was ask a question. No, but nobody's, hey, it's okay, baby. Cat, it's okay. Calm down. Nobody's attacking you because my voice is stern. Don't feel like I'm attacking you. I'm just being clear so my stuff is enunciated. I did not serve. No. Let's go over to Rumble for a little bit. Mizzy says 2% and its strongest growth in 60 years. Shout out. Yes, Mizzy. Appreciate you. Blackbird says Denver leans left and talks all right. So it takes all rights away from the rest of Colorado. That is correct. That is very much correct. Being says then he wants war. He didn't want war. He's been condemning everything Israel is doing right now. I don't know what you're talking about, but just because Donald Trump tweets to get out of there doesn't mean that he want war. Maybe he had some sort of intelligence that Israel is going to go in. He said, look, I don't want any of there to be death or destruction there in the sense of, harmful civilians being harmed. So get out of there so you can save yourself, save your life. Which, by the way, kudos to him for doing that if that's the case. Shout out to Trump for trying to save lives. God forbid he does that. I know, terrible guy. Just awful. Just completely awful. Let's go to YouTube for a little bit. The Mike Tyson of debaters. Miss Mom says, oh, we just got a class B with a real full bath. Did I say bath? I was tired of lowering the fifth. I have no idea, Miss Mom, what you're talking about, but appreciate you. Nonetheless, you're always in here. Q says, we bought it used, but I don't know. I'm stepping into somebody else's conversation. CC says, perhaps if we put in a Venn diagram, the left will understand it. I don't think they'll even understand that either. Because then you get in this idea of mutually exclusive, non-mutually exclusive. And usually if you're doing it in the form of a Venn diagram where they're overlapping, you're going to have non-mutually exclusive events taking place. And that goes way over their head. I am the light says single asking for, I mean, I could touch. I just can't do any action. Isn't there a phrase like that? Like you could touch, but you can, sorry. No, you can look, but you can't touch, I think is the phrase, right? I think that's the phrase that goes out there. Oh, that's so funny. I appreciate that. Oh boy. The next excuse will be the graph is racist. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it says blue collar, there is a color there. So careful. Be careful. I mean, they'll inject everything as racist. Lily says they're talking about camping. Oh, I love camping. Okay. All right. Love that. All right. Let's get into some more news here. I don't know how this article is going to appear on TikTok. So we'll see how this looks. It doesn't look too bad. Kind of
your business still
out.
Stuck in the stone age with your business's print.
So it's going to kind of suck for those that are on Rumble, but I think we're able to get it all on the screen. There we go. That's what she said. It says here, let me get rid of all this. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so a Westchester, Pennsylvania man was arrested near a No Kings protest on Saturday. As I'm going a little bit tighter there. A No Kings protest on Saturday has allegedly been found to be in possession of, wow, geez, okay. We're going to take some time with this article. We're definitely going to be brewing in this article for a bit. So if you need to get a cup of coffee, you need to use the little girl's room, the little ladies' room, now's the time to do it. Oh boy, here we go. Yes, spam that heart button. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you to everybody everywhere. Dude, we're popping off right now. I don't know what's going on, but things are popping off and looking really good for us on X, YouTube. By the way, if you're new here, I just want to emphasize this again, because who's going to plug it for me? We do a weekday podcast mornings. Our morning show is better than this, let me tell you. Our morning show pops off. 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is our normal programming. We do, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do Dark MAGA. So it's where we put on the Dark MAGA hat and we get a little bit feisty, but we're keeping it tame for now. We're keeping it tame. If you want to get feisty, where you need to go is over to Rumble, and links in my TikTok description for that. Rumble is where all the spiciness happens, and then it escalates to YouTube. Well, let me do this. Different diagram. TikTok is like PG. YouTube will be PG-13. Rumble is like R to X rated. Rumble is where you go to get your thoughts out, let's just say. I don't have your audio is working. My audio is working. Everybody can hear me. Everybody can hear me loud and clear. I've been doing this for an hour, so you got to turn on your phone, turn it up. All right, so a Westchester, Pennsylvania man arrested near a No Kings protest on Saturday has allegedly been found to be in possession of 7 pipe bombs at his home. Uh-oh. The Westchester Police Department said 31-year-old Kevin Krebs, young guy, was arrested on Saturday after members of the public told officers a man with a concealed weapon was walking near a large rally in Chester County, one of several held in communities across the country to protest Donald Trump. When officers identified the suspect, they stopped and questioned him before allegedly discovering he was in possession of a firearm without having a concealed carry permit. Well, I would argue that legally he doesn't need to have a concealed carry permit because there's a thing called the Second Amendment. Now, I know that the states and localities require you to have this stuff, or the counties, make you have a concealed carry permit. I'm saying I don't think the law should be that way. If I want to carry a firearm, I should be legally allowed to because of the Second Amendment. Somebody doesn't have to tell me I should have a concealed carry permit for a firearm. Okay? But that's just me. Court documents obtained by Fox 29 in Philadelphia allege Krebs was in possession of a fully loaded 6-hour handgun, knives, and ammunition. Whoa, this guy looks... What's wrong with you? On Monday, the station reported law enforcement officials executed a search warrant on Krebs' home where he lives with his brother. Detectives allegedly discovered a pipe bomb during the search, forced authorities to leave the home and call in additional resources. Isn't it crazy there's psychos like this? By the way, I don't know if this guy's a Democrat, Republican, Biden supporter, Trump supporter, Harris supporter. I don't care. The guy's off. If you're creating that kind of stuff in your house, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, there's something really, really off with you. You got ATF involved. Heck, you got everybody involved here. The bomb squad reportedly used a robot to handle the pipe bombs, and once the home was fully searched, a total of 7 were found. That is wild. Investigators also discovered an AR-15. Oh, careful. Careful. The left gets all freaked out when you talk about an AR-15. An AR-15. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, so icky. A long gun, ski mask, military helmet, and military gloves in Krebs' vehicle, which was parked just a few blocks from the protest on Saturday, makes you wonder what this guy had planned. A little odd, a little weird. I love cops being allowed to do their job. Me too. Absolutely love that. When questioned, Krebs allegedly told detectives he wanted to go protest peacefully, but also wanted to be safe because of what he has seen on television. Let me read that again. That seemed a little off, right? Am I the only one that thought this was a little weird? The Ball Brad chat is the best community. Exactly, CC. Thank you. I'm pinning that. God bless you, girl. She's been around for a while. We love her here. She's a legend. An absolute legend. Love everybody over on YouTube, Rumble and X. Appreciate you. Okay, so when questioned, Krebs allegedly told detectives, quote, he wanted to go protest peacefully, but also wanted to be safe because of what he has seen on television. Okay, I think there's truth to that. But you creating those pipes, we're going to call, that's not exactly a thing you need. Okay, let's be fair. It's not, as of right now, the government's not going usurpacious on us. You don't need to go crazy, okay? Okay, Krebsy Websy. Now, this guy, based on what I'm seeing, is probably a Trump supporter, okay? And as a Trump supporter, if the hat wasn't a giveaway, and the nice beard and the manly neck and just the sheer testosterone that's coming out of me, if that wasn't enough for you to display that I'm a Republican, I don't know what will. If this guy is, in fact, a Trump supporter, he's an idiot. It's not that difficult. He's an idiot. The same people, I've always said this, the same people that storm the Capitol, they're idiots. Okay, you're an adult. You don't go storm things. You go out and protest. When people start storming things, guess what? You turn the other way. It's not difficult. It's not difficult to act like an adult. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are. It's like the viewership just drops. It's good to see all of you. Autumn says, I'm RB, but no, I'm all for background checks. Background checks? What if they've never committed a crime? It doesn't catch that. I'm trying to find something else. There's something else I wanted to cover here. I want to make sure we get to it. Where are we at here? Let me find it. Interesting. Okay, so I got this right here. All right, here we go. I want to break this down. It's kind of, I want to find something that's out of the realm of Israel and Iran and illegal immigration. I want to find this. This looks interesting. So Kash Patel, the FBI director, let me make sure it looks good over here, and it does. Okay. FBI Director Kash Patel announced on Tuesday that the FBI had discovered documents pertaining to an alleged Chinese plot to create fake mail-in ballots ahead of the 2020 presidential election. I thought it was Russia. I thought Trump was a Russian agent. The PP hoax, right? The PP tape. What happened to that? Some of you read this story. Well, let's break it down because I haven't heard of this before. FBI Director Kash Patel announced on Tuesday, by the way, if you're over at TikTok, take those fingies and spam that heart button for me. Okay, use those fingers and spam that heart button. If you're over anywhere else, make sure that thumbs up button is clicked because it helps support the show. Or else I wouldn't ask you to do it. I appreciate you. Thank you. God bless. Just go crazy. Spam it. Brad, I got you, brother. Thank you, Jibs. I appreciate it, brother. Jeff is going crazy. We got everybody. Thank you to all the moderators that we have everywhere, by the way. Karen, Pat, Jeff, appreciate you. There's more out there, but I got to get to this. I apologize, but you know I love you. FBI Director Kash Patel announced on Tuesday that the FBI had uncovered documents pertaining to an alleged Chinese plot to create fake mail-in ballots ahead of the 2020 election. Patel shared a screenshot of a headline from Just the News, which is actually a great source. If you're looking to get news, that's actually a good site, that read, FBI gives Congress intel on alleged Chinese plot to create fake mail-in ballots in 2020, along with his own comment confirming that the FBI had, in fact, turned such information over to Congress for additional scrutiny. And you never heard about it until now. Until 5 years later, now you're hearing about it. The FBI has located documents which detailed alarming allegations related to the 2020 U.S. election, including allegations of interference by the CCP. I have immediately declassified the material and turned the documents over to Chairman Grassley for further review. Oh boy. This is why we wanted Cash and Dan Bongino in there, baby, to just start declassifying things left and right so we could take a little peek. So before everything was dressed, right? Before you couldn't see anything. But now we want everybody naked. We want everybody naked. The booty. The booty. And then when she turns around, it's, oh my God, what is that? Jesus. Well, this is the Democrats for us. Okay. That's what that is. If you're new, this is the booty. That is, look at that booty. Oh, God damn. That's like, oh, damn. That's the booty for you. Everybody from the Bald Brad Show knows the booty. And the booty we salute. It ain't your beauty, it's your booty, is what we say here. According to the report published by Just the News, the alleged scheme involved the mass production of fake American driver license. The intelligence reports that raised the concern were from August of 2020 and now have been declassified by Patel and turned over to the Senate Judiciary Committee, Chuck Grassley. I think I read that already. Grassley knew the intelligence of their intelligence reports and had been concerned that they had never been properly investigated at the time. Well, of course not, because it's probably going to benefit Joe. The Chinese love Joe. We did a whole hour-long episode of Burisma Holdings, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, James Biden. I mean, the entire Biden family corruption scandal. We covered it in detail. I went back like over a decade for you guys. We showed the receipts. We showed the checks. We showed the checks going from China to James Biden, Joe Biden's brother, into Joe Biden's bank account. We showed the rental statements from Hunter Biden that somehow is in the thousands of dollars paying for rent, which is bonkers. And then we show money being transferred from Hunter Biden to Joe Biden. You want to know Hunter Biden's excuse on that one? I was financing a truck and I couldn't pay for it. Sure. Okay. Yeah, we all believe that one. Maybe you couldn't. Maybe you're too busy snorting cocaine off a dog's ass for all I know. I don't know. Grassley knew of intelligence reports and had been concerned, but never did anything about it. President Joe Biden took office in January of 2021. His newly confirmed director of national intelligence declassified an intelligence report in March stating that there had been no attempt by communist China to interfere in the outcome of the election. So this was fabricated. This was all made up. We just have documents here that were being looked at. It seems kind of probably legit to me. That report declassified on March 10th, 2021 stated in part, we have no indications that any foreign actor attempted to alter any technical aspect of the voting process in the 2020 U.S. elections, including voter registration, casting ballots, voter tabulation, or reporting results. Interesting. With regard to China, though, the report said, we assessed that China did not deploy interference efforts. Well, that doesn't mean you weren't trying. That doesn't mean you didn't. That doesn't mean you didn't actually make an attempt here to fabricate and create this stuff. It just says we assessed that China did not deploy interference efforts and consider, but did not deploy influence efforts intended to change the outcome of the U.S. presidential election. That is a very fancy way, man. Boy, oh boy, did they work on that sentence. Let me tell you, they worked on that sentence all night. That pizza delivery man donated about 20 pizzas or delivered 20 pizzas because they spent some time crafting that very carefully. We assessed that China did not deploy, meaning they didn't send this out. Doesn't mean they didn't create the stuff already, sitting in some freaking Shanghai warehouse with a bunch of plastic dog doo-doo. Where else does it say it? Look at considered but did not deploy influence efforts intended to change the outcome of the election, meaning maybe it wasn't in the capacity. So let me rephrase all this for you, what potentially this could be saying. Well, they made this stuff, but they didn't deploy it. And if they were to deploy it, it wouldn't have a consequence or a significant change, a material change or influence on the election. Okay, gotcha. Uh-huh. Now, does it say that? No. Well, that's not what it says. I know it's not what it says. I'm giving you an alternative of what they might be implying here. God forbid somebody does that. But I'm telling you, get the progressives in here with their you get these progressive men in here and their hair is just wound so tight in their pigtails, you know what I mean? Because they're at home now wearing their wives' underwear. And it's just so tight that their brain just stops working. God forbid somebody poses some questions. God forbid somebody raises awareness to something. God forbid I give you an alternative of what the thing might be saying. You're not an idiot. You can come up with your own agenda here and what might be being said. You're smart enough for that. God forbid I think you're smart. I know it's crazy. I know somebody thinks you're smart. It's the first time you've heard it, but it might be possible. It might be possible. Well, folks, we've been streaming. How long have we been streaming here? I can't do it anymore. It's been so long. It's been so long. Well, our live restricted for some audience. It looks like we've been restricted. Live audience contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and have been restricted. So regulated goods content. So now we're restricted. Your live is ineligible for a recommendation and restricted in search results because your live does not comply with your For You feed eligibility standards. So it looks like reset. Yeah, I'm going to get off, though. We've been streaming for an hour and a half, and usually our show only runs for an hour. But I appreciate everybody joining me over here nonetheless. Follow me on TikTok for all the videos we've done. We did upload a video about 3 hours ago. Let's see how that's doing. Let's see how that video is doing on TikTok right now. So we uploaded a video 3 hours ago, and it has almost 100,000 views. So that's pretty crazy. Folks, let's go to it. Let's go to it. Let's go to this real quick. Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. Just hanging tight. There we go. Whoa, who are you? Teach me how to Dougie. 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 Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. All right, so this video here. That's not the video where I'm at. Latest. Where are we at here? Okay. Well, you guys, okay, these two. Remember this one in the morning was under 300,000. We're at 542,000 views. Shout out to you guys for always enjoying the content that's been created. And then this is the one we just made 3 hours ago. This one, 88,000 views. So we're popping off here. Appreciate you guys. God bless you. So if you're over at TikTok, we're going to end the stream at least on TikTok. I'm going to spend some time a little bit on Rumble and YouTube just for a little bit longer, just to shout out the people in the chat and give a little bit of love to them. But appreciate everybody over at TikTok. Thank you for joining us. Follow me over there if you want more news. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for everybody donating over there. Appreciate all you guys. And have a great night as well. Appreciate you. All righty. We are off TikTok. Man, I'll tell you what, you guys, I'm surprised we lasted that long. I don't know if you know this, but I was legitimately wondering how long we were going to be able to go before we got flagged. I was wondering, man, because your account, actually, let me run a count check real quick. Your account gets flagged for stuff like that all the time. So let me look at this. And it actually hurts your account if you get flagged. So let me see really quick. I'm gonna run an account check, see if I'm restricted. But thanks for everybody joining. Thanks, Jeff, for over there putting in the work, man. I appreciate you. Jeff, dude, I know you guys can't see what Jeff was doing. Jeff was like throwing haymakers like this. Like he was like windmilling. He was fighting so many people. It was nuts. It was nuts. The guy was having the time of his life, man. And I just let him go. Do you see what I did there? I just let Jeff go. I didn't tell Jeff what to do. I was like, Jeff, just kick their ass for him. Jeff, go crazy. This is called trusting your community, folks. I trust you guys. See, if I thought you guys were idiots, I would micromanage you. But I don't think you're idiots. I think you're extremely intelligent people. And that's why I loved hanging out with you. We have the best community, and I keep saying it. And I will always say it. Can you fight it? No. It just was for basically, no, we're in good standing. There you go. I think you could see that. There you go. We're in good standing. So we passed the check. No, it was basically saying, hey, you know what? This isn't for children. And there's actually a button you can press. And I'm gonna press that next time. That's for basically 18 years or older. So I'm gonna make sure I flag that. And that's okay if we lose a lot of people, but that's all it was saying. It was like, hey, basically this is for mature audiences. This is a little bit too much for the kiddos. So we're gonna kind of get rid of that. So Jeff the Bouncer, how many hearts did you get on TikTok? We got a lot. I don't know how many it was. I'd have to go back and look, but it was well over 1,000 for sure. Jeff's just spamming his finger. Jeff, don't wear out your finger, man. You still got to take care of your wife later, buddy. Yeah. Brad, why can't you upload your videos to Rumble? I could. Okay, there's a couple reasons why I don't. Jesus, oh my God, I'm huge. That's what she said. There's a couple reasons why I don't. Let me check this really quick. And if you guys want, I mean, I can. Rumble doesn't. Okay, for one, you guys, I don't want to spam you with a bunch of content. I don't want you guys' notifications going off. And some of you don't mind, but a lot of people do. So that's one. Two, I don't know if it's worth my time. And the reason why I say that is because I got to take it from my phone. I got to put it on my computer. I got to take it from my computer, upload. It takes upload a while. Then I got to come up with I mean, it seems like meaningless work in the sense of like not hard work. And you would be right. But it's like I could spend that time doing something else, basically. Maybe I got to clean up around the house or something like that. Where, you know, I've even stopped posting on TikTok or on YouTube because they're completely suppressing all my videos. Because I'm getting like I just want to emphasize, I know I emphasize all the time, but I don't think you guys understand how crazy. I have like 2,000 videos on YouTube. 2,000 videos. 1 view an hour. That doesn't, not with 100,000 subscribers. That is wild, dude. That is wild. 1 view an hour on content. So that's why I'm like, I'm just going to stop monetizing and really not put a ton of effort into YouTube. Like we're mostly over at Rumble and we'll still stream there, but YouTube's kind of on the way out for me. If hopefully Rumble stays up, but we'll still keep going over there. But I'm just not putting that much attention into it. We didn't make much money over there anyways, other than the people that donate. You guys, the ones that donating on YouTube, you're keeping us afloat over there, by the way. So appreciate you. Thank you for always donating your hard-earned money. Please don't leave. It supports the show. But it's just crazy. I had to look you up. I was enjoying your content. Thank you. I appreciate that, Autumn. Thank you. Are you coming over from TikTok? Appreciate that. Just joined from TikTok. Oh, there you go. Just joined from TT. Well, heck yeah. Appreciate you joining us, Autumn. We have a lot of people named Autumn, oddly enough. Maybe we only have one other one, but we can have another one. We got more room for more Autumns, that's for sure. But shout out, everybody give shout out to Autumn in the chat. So remember, we're not just over at YouTube, we're also at Rumble. But anyways, that's why I don't. I mean, if you guys want, I can upload them over there. It's just videos that are, videos themselves on Rumble aren't really, and a lot of people are having a problem with Rumble on this one. They're not really given the same attention as that they are in terms of streaming live. So it's kind of like Rumble's basically kind of like Twitch or Kick, where it's more of a streaming service than it is kind of like a YouTube video service. And if you look at YouTube's completely opposite. YouTube is not a streaming service, it's a video service. So they're like two different platforms, if that makes sense. So Rumble's streaming, not for videos. YouTube's for videos, not for streaming. And that's why we tend to get a little bit of a lower view count over there at YouTube in terms of our stream numbers. That's why our numbers are higher on X and higher on Rumble than they are over at YouTube. Like on X, we're consistently now getting over 50 views over there. And it's great for a small channel like us. We love that. I'm not complaining over there that at least we're getting some views. So shout out to all you over at X. Appreciate you. But again, we've been streaming for an hour and a half. I think we're going to end it here. Thank you to everybody joining me. Hopefully you guys had a good time tonight. Always appreciate the efforts of you guys showing up and showing me love and letting me hang out with you. I appreciate that. Love it. I'm the OG, but hi. Yes, Autumn. Yes, Autumn 1981. I know what your screen name looks like. Yes, you are the OG. Autumn has to make sure she stands her ground because there's another Autumn in the chat, and the other Autumn we love just as much. The new Autumn. Appreciate you, Autumn Bridges. But I love how Autumn's like, no, I'm the only one here. It's like when you get like multiple black people at an all white party, you know, like which black person's going to win out. That's a joke. Okay. That's a joke. Okay. Everybody knows that joke. It's from Key and Peele. All right. So anywho, all right, we're going to end it there. Thanks to everybody that's been joining. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. You're going to see some of the same news articles tomorrow. Not everybody was able to join, but we'll also have some more goodies for you as well. More updates on what's going on with Israel and Iran. So appreciate you guys. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. And folks, I will see you tomorrow morning here on the Bold Brad channel. Appreciate you. Take care.